Good morning, students. Today's our topic is a memory management. So, as we all are know, the operating system consists the multiple data, and the operating system also performs the various operations on that data. That's why the memory management concept is provided by the operating system. So, under this, the memory allocation, deallocation is done by the operating system. Now, what is the meaning of allocation? When we allocate the memory means what? We can access the memory or data. Then the second term is a deallocation. Means it can free up the memory or it can free up the space. And memory management is also free memory is checked. Okay, it also checks the free memory if available. Then the memory management concept provides the single contiguous memory management technique. So what is about the single management? In this, the program is loaded in a contiguous memory location. As the name suggests, in contiguous memory management, the program is loaded in a contiguous memory location. But the non-contiguous does not require it. Okay, so the program should be divided into the chunks. The chunk is same size in a paging and the different size in a segmentation. I will explain the paging and segmentation concept in a next slide. Okay. So see what is the exact meaning of this management technique. Memory is divided into the two contiguous area. You can see in a below image. First one, the first area is what? It is a operating system. So this is a permanently allocated to the operating system, and the second space is used for the user process area. Okay, so at a time only one user process is in a memory. This is your single contiguous memory management. So what is the advantage of this memory? This scheme has a very fast access time, but its use is a very limited. Okay, it not having the multi-user facility, only single user process is in a memory. This is the disadvantage of the single contiguous memory management. Then your next topic is a partition. So generally what? The main memory is divided into the various sections. So this is called as a partition. What is the meaning of partition? The main memory is divided into the various sections. So there are two types of partitions are available. The first one is a fixed partition and the second one is the variable partition. See, what is the meaning of first fixed partition? In this scheme, the partition could be of the different sizes. One decided at the time of system generation and they could not be changed. Okay. So this is the oldest and very simple technique which is used to put more than one processes in the main memory. Okay. So in partitioning, the number of partitions in a RAM are fixed size. Okay. But the size of each partitions may or may not be same. So you can see in a diagram the fixed partitions having the ID and the partitions having the starting address, then size and the status. You can see in a below diagram there is a 4 process, that is a P4 process, means P0 to P4, that is 5 processes are available. Okay, and the starting address is starting from the 0k. So you can see the first one, that is a P0 having the 100k, that is it starts from 0 to 100k and its status is allocated. Then the second one is a P1, that is starts from 100k to 300k, means what? Its total size is a 200k and it is a free block. So whenever a process is entered into the queue, then or whenever the data is entered in a queue, then that data is fed into the process P1. Why? Because it is a free memory. Okay, then you having a process A, then you having a process B, and so on. Okay, this is the working of the fixed partition. Now you can see the next one is the variable partition. What is the meaning of variable partition? In this, the space in a main memory is allocated strictly according to the need of processes. So hence there is a no case of internal fragmentation. Now, what is the internal fragmentation? This concept it is a disadvantage of the fixed partition. Okay. Now see what is the meaning of internal fragmentation and external fragmentation. These both are the disadvantage of fixed partition. In internal fragmentation, if a partition is of 100K and it has to be allocated to a process of 18K, then what will happen? The 20K memory is wasted. This is called as the internal fragmentation. Okay, and the next one is the external fragmentation. So suppose if two free partitions of that is the 30K and 50K are available and the process of 60K has to be accommodated, then the both partitions can't be allocated in this process. So there is again wastage of memory space. This is called as the external fragmentation. So another disadvantage is what? The time complexity is very low because allocation and deallocation routines are simple as the partitions are fixed and the access time is not very high. Okay, so this is what external fragmentation. Your next one is a variable partition. Okay, so in this partition there is a no case of internal fragmentations, like the main memory is allocated strictly according to the need of process. Means what? Your space is not wasted in this type of partition. Okay, so there will be a no unused space left in the partition. You can see in a below diagram the OS. First one is what? Your operating system. The first one, your operating system is loaded into the memory and all the rest of the memory is free. Okay, then you can see in the second step the process P1 into loaded in the memory and start its execution. After that P2 is loaded into memory and starts its execution. Then in fourth, again P3 is loaded into the memory and starts its execution. Now you can see in the fifth block, that is P1 is a block. You can see P1 is a fill in a black color. Means what? P1 is block. So after a while P4 wants to occupy the memory. The existing free space is less than the size of P4. Suppose assume that P4 is smaller than P1, but it is bigger than the free area available at the bottom. So what will be happen? P1 is swap out and two chunks of free space in a memory. You can see in the diagram. After that, see in a 6 point, P4 is loaded and starts its execution. Okay. Now P4 is loaded in the same space available as P1 is less than, P4 is less than P1. Okay, this is all about 6th step. Then comes to the 7th steps. Now what will be happen? Suppose P2 is terminated and only P4 and P3 is continue. Then the free area at the top and the one released by P2 can be joined. So you can see P in a 8 block, P1 is swapped out and also free space in the middle is sufficient to hold P1. So the another process P5 is loaded into the memory. This is all about working of variable partitions. Okay. So what is the Advantage of this, it does not wastage any space like fixed partition. Okay, so this gives wastage less memory as compared to fixed partition because there is a no internal fragmentation. And second thing is what? The time complexity is higher than the fixed due to the various data structures and algorithm used in this method. This is all about variable partition. Now, your next topic is the non-contiguous allocation. So non-contiguous allocations means what? In this allocation scheme, the problem of fragmentation arises. So non-contiguous allocation provides a better method to solve this problem. Okay. What is the disadvantage of contiguous memory allocation? Consists the problem of fragmentation. So overcome that problem, the non-contiguous allocation is developed. Okay, so this allocation supports or provides the two methods. That is, first one is the paging and the second concept is the segmentation. Now you can see what is the working of paging. First thing, what is mean of paging? It is a chunk of memory are of same size, or you can say that paging it is a fixed size partitioning scheme. So in paging, the secondary memory and main memory are divided into the equal size partition. Okay. So the partition of second memory is called as the page and the partition of main memory is called as the frame. You can see in the below diagram, main memory partition into the frames and the secondary memory is a partition into the pages. Then the next topic is your segmentation. Okay, so this topic consists, it is also similar to the paging. Okay, so pages are is a physical nature and the hence it is consists the fixed size, but segmentations are the logical division of the program, so it's having the variable size. So the difference between the paging and the segmentation will learn into the next topic.